Well, good evening, and thank you very much for coming online tonight for our virtual Primary 7 Parents' Evening. I'm so sorry we're not able to do this live, and I've really missed now for 2 years in a row the opportunity to meet with new parents in the school to talk about what's going to happen in the next few weeks in terms of our Primary 7 progression. You'll hear an awful lot more about just the practicalities around that tonight from obviously Andrew, our deputy head teacher who's responsible for the process, but also from Gillian McCall, the year head for S1, the school nurse Carol, and Mrs. Chalmers, our principal teacher of additional support needs. But I just wanted to outline some of the things in Banff Academy that I'm hoping will allay some of the fears and anxieties that you might have as your young person moves across to us on the 7th of June, which we're very much looking forward to. I think we are the only school in Aberdeenshire that does a 3 week process whereby pupils actually just start S1 before the summer holidays and then continue with that after and don't go back to primary school. In fact, there are very few, I believe, in Aberdeenshire who are still actually doing live experiences for their new S1 pupils. So we believe that our new S1 pupils are lucky in that regard. And I just wanted to take a few moments just to outline some of the things that they can experience when they start S1 in Banff Academy. So just at the start of this session back in August, we introduced a new what we call learning model in the academy, that we moved away from the traditional 32 50-minute periods in the week down to 15 100-minute sessions. So we only have three 100-minute sessions per day. We have one in the morning, and then we have a break, and then one before lunch, and then one after lunch. And we finish at 3:15 every day. But I'll say more about the learning model just in a second. But possibly one of the most important things about the academy is that we're moving the emphasis away from the relentless focus on exam performance and concentrating on more of what we believe is important for young people in a secondary school. And that is to make sure that they are healthy, both physically and mentally, and that they build confidence and they have the skills for when they leave school to do whatever it is that they want to do when they leave school, whether that's to go on to further or higher education or into an apprenticeship or indeed into employment. So it's our firm belief that we need to prepare young people for positive destinations when they leave here, and it's not just all about exam results. Unfortunately, even just before the pandemic, the levels of mental health and anxiety and depression amongst young people were at record high levels. And I believe, as the head teacher of this school, that we have a huge responsibility as teachers to be able to look after young people, to have that kind of wraparound care for young people, to help them develop into young, responsible, mature, sensible adults as they continue their education. So one of the ways in which we are trying to do that is that we've introduced an initiative in Banff Academy, which incidentally we did during lockdown in April of last year, with a thing called Squad. And basically, every pupil at Banff Academy is a member of a squad, which is a small group of same-aged pupils within their year group who meet every morning for half an hour with their squad leader. Now, the squad has an identity. One of the first things that new S1 pupils will do is to come up with a squad name, but they will start to begin to form relationships with other members in the squad and also with their squad leader. It's the squad leader's responsibility to make sure that for most of the pupils in that class, that they have built up a relationship with a key person in the school that knows them really well, that sees them every day for half an hour, so that's 2.5 hours every week, where they can talk through issues that are perhaps bothering them, or just to be able to have a listening ear, if you like, that they have in school. And they'll stay with that squad leader all the way throughout the year, and in fact, all the way through their school career. Now, that might take place or replace what you might have understood as the traditional role of the guidance teacher. But the analogy that I would draw there is that the squad leaders are a little bit like your GP, so that you would go to your doctor with sort of kind of general health needs, and they would provide some sort of help support for that. But if things started to get really serious, the GP might refer you on to the consultant. And like the medical profession in school, the squad leader would refer you on to the guidance teacher if they felt there was something more serious. So you would expect to get phone calls home perhaps from the squad leader, and the squad leader will be looking after your young person. They have a range of activities that they do every morning, and really sometimes the young people will set the agenda as well. So they have that half an hour every morning before session one to really get to know each other, get to know their squad leader, get to know somebody that will really look after them as they progress through the school. So back to that learning model then, 100 minutes is all about having extended periods of learning, which allows, particularly in practical subjects, the opportunity to really settle into having a useful learning experience rather than getting everything set up and then having to spend another good length of the learning period packing things away. So that really helps in a practical context, but also from a non-practical context, having a longer period of learning allows youngsters to immerse themselves in that learning experience. It becomes a much richer experience. Teachers have to plan a lot more intricately for those learning experiences, and therefore we feel that that's a better way of learning. We're going to review that and we'll see how that works out throughout the rest of this year, and we may well change it again, but at the moment that's what we're looking at. Just going back to the role of the guidance teacher, so instead of having houses, which you may have recalled when you were at school, each guidance teacher now has a responsibility for a whole year group, and that means that they help support the squad leaders in that year group and also the pupils within all of those squads. So we're delighted that we will have a new principal teacher of guidance for S1, Mr. Igor Wright, and he will be starting with us on the 1st of June, and he'll be working alongside Mrs. McCall to help support all S1 pupils. And so finally, just to say, we have lots and lots of opportunities in the school as COVID starts to dissipate from our lives, hopefully, and we can return back to some sort of normality. Banff Academy is all about making sure that pupils are active in their learning, that they enjoy their learning, but most importantly, they see a relevance in their learning. They know why they're learning something rather than just what they're learning. We put a great emphasis on our teaching to make sure that young people realise that what they're learning in school has a real life relevance to what they're doing, rather than just being good at remembering stuff. So finally, I would just like to wish you all the very best and good luck for when we start on the 7th of June. I'll now pass back to Andrew, who will be able to tell you some more of the practical arrangements. But thank you very much.